Kevin, Leslie. See a few of you starting to appear now. Just one moment and we'll be underway. Well, good morning. Beginning of another new week. School's back, or back at home, depending on where people are being schooled from these days. And we're here to do some Tai Chi and some Qigong exercises. And always like to start off with just a little bit of a very gentle exercise. Often when people think of exercise, they think of Western exercise, which is sort of based on a linear progression, on how far, how fast, how heavy, how long, all those sort of linear progression movements. But really, when we think of Tai Chi and think of it as a holistic art, then really it's more about the feeling. And so, you're just checking out your shoulder and you think, oh, that's working, that's good. And we try not to be too judgmental. Oh, there's that sore shoulder. No, you try and just sort of think, oh, I'll just move it where I can to move comfortably and just explore the natural range of movement in a very gentle way, being kind to yourself. And these sort of things are actually very beneficial, nurturing and working with the joint surfaces. The shoulders, well, they're an area that we often accumulate stress, and with stress in the background, we don't notice sometimes. It's like a noisy truck that parks out the front of the house, and you sort of, you can hear it there, but when it stops or when it drives off, you go, that's a relief. So there's stress in the background. It's been around for a while now. It's the subject of all the news stories and a lot of people's conversations these days. And we don't notice. When we do our Tai Chi, it's a time out as well, to take time out to breathe. A cleaning breath out through the mouth. Take a big breath in through the nose. Expand and open the chest, and then use the diaphragm to empty the breath that little bit extra. And try and get the feeling of breathing through the whole body. Now, when we take this soft and gentle approach to nurture and to cultivate our good health, we think of it, when conditions are right, things thrive. So it does make Tai Chi a very safe exercise to do. But at any time, if there's an exercise that doesn't feel right for you, don't do it. Just modify the range of movement to where it suits you. So even here as an example, I'm just turning my hands in little circles. There's a little bit of work through the fingers, a little bit of work through the wrists, the elbows, and the shoulders. If I increase the range of movement, I'm still basically doing the same exercise and just using a little bit more range of movement, especially through the shoulders. Stretching a little bit more through the back. So all of the exercises are by degree, how far you feel that you can go comfortably. And we do have some people that do the exercises sitting. So if you feel you need to take a break at any time, you can always just sit down and watch. And the advantage of this recorded program is, of course, you can come back and watch it at any time. So we want to keep thinking about that basic guideline for practice of Tai Chi and Qigong exercise. Go as far as you can comfortably. The two important words are you. Don't worry about how far I go or you think that anybody else can go. Just go as far as it feels comfortable for you. And that means, trying to feel as comfortable as possible. Not just a little bit of strain, but a lot of relaxation, a lot of feeling into the movements. And of course, course, the relaxation is always the key. I often think about it with this sort of exercise where I'm starting to stretch and lift my heels and go up a bit further. You know, if I start to hold stress, the balance stays up in the body and it's hard to hold on. But if you just let go, gravity goes down through the body. Again, that's a key point to think about in the feeling of sitting and centering the weight down into the feet. Although I'm physically lifting my body and extending up that little bit higher, the feeling is down into the feet. And so as long as you stay relaxed, if you need to, you just walk around, take a couple of steps, lower the heels, relax back down into the center. Another exercise that I'm always trying to emphasize is lifting the knees. You know, spending some time standing on one leg. You can do it just as a little bit of an extra warm-up exercise or preparation exercise when you're going for a walk, or even part of the way through the walk if you want to do a few extra movements of the muscles, get the joints working. But it's also a very important part of the balance and stability program. The basic measure, I think, is being able to stand on one leg. But balance is really what position you're in all of the time, not just when you're standing on one leg. So when you sit into your bow stance to push to do this movement, it's all about balance. Solid, nice base of balance, lower center of gravity, lifting the spirit up, keeping the head up, and putting the hands into position to get ready, then to activate, to focus, to sit, to push, extend the breath a little bit extra. And just hop over onto the other foot. Center position, out to the side, the width of the hips, knees in alignment, not too far forward, just again comfortably sitting down to balance, strong and stable. If you think about it like a square or a rectangle, then the body can move inside that base of balance. If we end up outside the base of balance, if it's too narrow or the feet are in awkward positions, we don't feel the same relaxation. So part of this idea of getting a balance to sit is to be able to relax and let the weight go down through the lower part of the body. Now, moving back, sitting back onto one leg with an empty step at the front, this is the position that we want to look for to be able to lift the knee a little bit higher when we do our balance exercise. We should have about an equal amount of distance to either side. So this is the strong part right in the center. As the traditional Tai Chi forms, you'd be aware of things like the elegant white crane standing in the water on one leg and opening its wings in the morning sun. Isn't that a nice image to think about? And the knee is directly there in front, but to sit up straight, that helps us to get the best focus on the balance. So this foot goes down onto that angle, the body turns to sit in line with the foot, and then we return to the center position to be able to sit like in the exercise Strum the Lute. Punch under the elbow, there's 7-star punch, lots of these traditional Tai Chi moves that are done in this position. The bird stretching his wings in the morning sun. Good ways to think about the balance. And so sitting, lifting the knee a little bit higher, doing this a little bit slower. At the end of the 18 techniques, number 17 is stepping to bounce the ball. We move the weight over to stand on one leg, sit to get the balance to lift the knee, focus on the posture, relax to lower the foot. So slowing it down does become a little bit more of a challenge and makes you think about the balance that little bit extra. So I think that's a good thing. And for those people that are not there yet, or if you know anybody whose balance is not good, get them to practice. Holding on to something really does help to be able to get more information so that you can do it in a relaxed way. If you do it in a relaxed way, then you exercise the right muscles. But when you start struggling and straining, too much work, too much going on with the wrong muscles. So just a couple of very simple preparation exercises, I think. 2 things that you should do every day. Stretch your arms in the air, win the wellness lottery, and being able to spend some time on one leg. Or sometimes you can even do both at the same time. breathing and our yin exercise, we stand with the feet a little bit closer together. We still think of the important part with the knees, that you don't want to go too far forward. You don't want the knees to lunge forward, just to sit over the top of the feet. And the most important part is from the lower back. Sitting down, activating the pelvic floor, the abdomen, the lower back, and sitting up straight. So you push the weight down into your feet. Chin in, lengthening the back of the neck, keeping the head up, stand tall. And then the rotation, we get that spiral. It's a strong movement from the martial art techniques as well. But don't let the shoulders roll forward. Sit up straight, chin in, head up, shoulders back to focus. The first exercise, spiraling and lifting with the palms, as if offering a gift from the heart. To extend forward into the fingertips, and then spiral, little finger, ring finger, middle finger, pointer finger and thumb to form fists. Bend the knees. Sit with the hips to push down. To sit up straight, to focus. Gently squeeze and release. Let's do that one more time to the front. Now, if you can't lift the heels, that's okay. Just move the weight a little bit forward into the front of the feet. If you can lift the heels, same principle applies as before. If you're having trouble with the balance, just relax. Lower back into the position again. Lower center of gravity, good center of balance. Spiraling the hands to lift to the sides. Scan the horizon and turn your neck slowly to look across to the left side. To extend and project out, and then spiral in, lower the heels, bend the knees, sit with the hips, stretch up through the back. To the front, we do one at the center each time. Tao Yin, energy leading exercise. Move the energy through the meridians, to stimulate the flow, and to think of the changes from the yin to the yang and the yang to the yin. Opening the arms, looking to the right, extend out into the fingertips, spiral in again, soften the knees, sit with the hips, sit up straight to activate. To the center, lifting with the palms, extending into the fingers, spiraling and gathering, sitting and gently squeezing, and to the back, push back, lift to where you feel comfortable, spiral the hands, sit with the hips. One more to the front. Well, we were looking forward to going to China this year and visiting the relics where they found the silk scrolls of the Tao Yin Qigong exercises, about 2,600 years old, diagrams and well, some instructions on how to do the exercise, with things like Xingjun, keep the heart calm. The energy leading is the meridian exercises, to focus on the heart meridian through the center of the arm. And that's the stretching that we have here, and the spiraling, squeezing to stimulate and relax to release again. But from the back, the kidney area, then we think about this as sitting down so that you actually open up the lower back a little bit. Bend the knees, open the lower back, sit with the hips. You should feel the muscles engage on the legs. Not onto the knee joints, don't lunge too far forward, but to sit down to engage the muscles. I think of it, the lotus spirals downwards, so from the kidneys, the roots extend through the water into the earth, through the soles of the feet. And so this is to shrink and to activate down into the kidneys meridian. So the kidneys, the energy descends into the earth. Along the sides of the spine, the bladder meridian, the other half of the water element, extends to the brain. So we're sitting up straight. This is the lengthening of the neck that we're thinking about, to open up all the way up the sides of the spine, all the way up to the top of the head. So they're the fire and water elements. And the idea of the exercise is to bring everything into balance. You could think of the fire and water as being like the yin-yang. Fire is an amazingly powerful energy, but it needs to be kept under control. So let's run through those exercises one more time. Relax. Normally breathing in and out quietly through the nose if you can. To open the skeleton, to clear the mind of any distractions, to focus on being here now, to feel what you're doing. The elegant crane greeting the dawn, the first of the 8 Tao Yin Qigong exercises. There is a DVD with the 8 exercises and the beautiful Tao Yin music that you can hear in the background, one of our favourites for Tai Chi practice. Is also available from the online shop at Living Chi. Of course, an active and healthy program is being sponsored by the Gold Coast City Council, and this is taking the place of the sessions that we'd normally do in the parks, but I know that we have people from other areas that are watching as well, so hello and welcome. You know, the Brisbane City Council, Moreton Bay Council, active and healthy programs are all on hold at the moment, so making up with these online sessions is a good way to keep up your exercise. In fact, some people have even said to me they've been practicing more now because I'm doing it 3 times a week on Monday, Wednesday and Friday morning at 8:30. And of course I'm from the Australian Academy of Tai Chi, and all of our evening classes are on hold at the moment as well. But we are looking at starting up probably next week some more online sessions. It's just taken a little while working out exactly what we can and can't do, how we're able to fit those programs together to be able to help most people. So stay tuned for that and I'll give you more details. The second Tao Yin exercise we want to do is called the Monkey Presents Fruit. And in this exercise we sit down and tuck down so that we're lowering down through the sole of the foot on one side while we step out with the other and hold the toes up. So when we're drawing the foot up and sitting down, we're focusing from the Yongchuan point at the sole of the foot, sitting into the kidneys, into the lower back, and up along the spine to stretch. Now the arm movement's still working on the heart meridians, but sometimes we have a bigger range of movement. But as an example, I'm going to turn around to make it a little bit easier to follow. And the first one that I do, I'm going to keep it very easy, just to get the essence of the movement. 1, to get the balance, to center the body over the top of the foot. To sit with the hips, to spiral down into the foot, to lift up along the spine, and to lift the knee. To open the foot out a little bit to the side, so there's a little bit of width for the stance. And when we're sitting in this position, sometimes we'll be holding the toes and the knee up to keep the focus on the sitting, or moving forward so that we sit into the middle position again. This is a strong position, like that push that we were thinking about before. And then moving all the weight over the top of the foot, so the center of the body, the center of the head, all in line with the center of the foot. But it'll probably help if you sit down a little bit more with the right hip to lift the right knee. So whatever level you go, that's where you feel that you can do comfortably. When we step back, this is a good exercise all by itself as well, which is practicing to put the foot on the ground without moving any weight. If it's a bit difficult, just keep the foot in a little bit closer, or if you feel comfortable, you can go further. Make sure you don't start moving the weight too early though. Put the heel down first and then transfer the weight to sit back. Just sit into position. So with the arms lift with the thumbs pointing down. Lift to project the fingers. I like thinking of the little fingers pushing up into the air and then opening out to push out towards the horizon. Lower the toes, put your knee into alignment to be able to sit, then move the balance over the top of the foot to lift the knee. The monkey presents fruit, lifting with the palms. Stepping back to lower the heel, relax. Spiral the hands in, pulling back, drawing the sole of the foot up, sitting down onto the other side to gently stretch up through the back, and then bring the fists over the top, like as if you're hitting the tiger's ears. Relax the toes down and move forward. Sit with the hips to sit up straight, comfortable, easy. Move the weight back again, making another circle. How high, how wide, how low, all those things depend on what you feel that you can do comfortably. With the heart calm. Sitting, the monkey presents fruit. To step back again and step in, open the hands out to feel the air. Now for the other side, I'm going to go just a little bit further, but please just stay at the level that feels best for you. To gently stretch out, to sit down and stretch up. Open the arms to push out with the palms, to lower the toes and put the knee into a strong alignment sitting in the middle. Then move the center of gravity over the base, over the foot to sit, and to lift the knee, lifting the knee and the arms to where you feel comfortable. And sometimes you might try to go too far and it doesn't quite work. Just relax and come back down into position again. Lowering the heel at the back, spiraling the hands and pulling back, sitting with the hips to focus on sitting up straight. Bring the fists over the top. Release and move forward. Sit into the bow stance. Sit with the hips, sit up straight. Gently stretch the back. And move back again to open the arms. The monkey presents fruit. Sitting in, coming back in to close. Opening the hands to feel the air. So let's do one more round. Sit to get the balance onto one leg and step out to get ready. Lifting, opening, relaxing. Move the weight. Sit to get the balance. Turn a little bit on this one just to give another aspect of the movement. Feel the air. Well, two of my favourites from the Dao Yin Qigong exercise. Good idea to have a drink of water. I notice sometimes with filming sessions here I haven't always stopped to have a drink, but I highly recommend that during the exercise that you do take a short break. You've got to maintain the fluid levels to keep the body well hydrated, stop it from drying out, especially as we move into the autumn season here. It's a little bit cooler and a little bit drier, so we want to make sure we nurture. Standing comfortably again, about shoulder width apart, toes turned in as close as comfortable to parallel, locking the knees, being careful not to go too far with the knees. Think of it again as sitting to engage the muscles. Sit up through the posture and breathe to open the space between all the joints, to open the skeleton, to let the weight just hang loose. Tai Chi Qigong Shiba Shi. Shiba, 18 exercises, 18 skills or 18 techniques. Each one of the techniques having a tradition, a legacy that goes back thousands of years in some cases. And this exercise would have to be one of the very basic foundations of Qigong and the Tai Chi forms. It looks like you're just simply lifting and lowering the arms, but there are a lot of important things to think about. The first one I think about is sitting to connect to the earth. Every action has an opposite and equal reaction. By sitting down into the ground, I can start to push forward and get ready, to push into the ground, to lift through the legs, to extend through the spine, and to open and project out into your fingertips. Soften the hands, bringing the arms in a little bit, and pushing down with the palms, to push the hands down through the air, to gently activate to sit up straight, but then to release the hands and feel the blood flow into your fingertips. So raising the arms to extend the chi is activating the energy of the body to lift all the way to the top of the head, to keep the spirit up there, but to let go any unnecessary tension and to lower the body, to push down and connect to the earth. One more time. Lifting, using the legs, extending to project into the fingers, bring the hands in, and then sit to push downwards. Focus on flow and feeling. Next, the breathing. Try and get that feeling of expanding and contracting through the whole body. The fingers, the feet, the legs, the arms, the spine, and of course the chest as well. How far can you go comfortably? I like trying a few different ranges of movement myself. And I like to be able to empty the breath as far as possible, to use the lower part of the lungs first, and then to expand and open the chest. To relax the chest and start to soften, and then use the diaphragm to empty, sitting down to the low part. But I know that that doesn't always work all the time, and doesn't work for some people. That's okay. You might breathe in, relax, take another breath. Relax, release, take another breath, and then lower. So it can be adjusted, that's the key point. Don't hold, force, or strain. And if it doesn't work every time, that's okay. Just do what you can, comfortably. Maybe next time it'll be different. Again, our focus is not on how many times or how far or how slow we can go, really. The focus is on feeling. Mindful awareness, the harmony of the mind, the body, and the breath. With feeling, with flow. Painting the rainbow across the sky. An arc from side to side. That's the easy part. It's always easy, I think, to remember the hands, and if you can do that, then you can remember what to do to get started. And then as you practice, you can think about the important points a little bit more. Good alignment, to sit with the balance onto one leg, to sit with the hips, to sit up straight, no weight on that other side, trying to keep everything level at a comfortable level that you can do without strain, whatever level that may be. Sitting to paint the rainbow across the sky. Keep the head up and the shoulders level. Think of the center all the way down to the foot to connect to the earth standing on one leg. Well, let's return to the middle to separate the clouds. Relax to lower to get ready. Sit to scoop and gather. Think of the space and the shape. Lift through the legs. Extend through the torso. Project from the top of the head and lift the arms as far as you feel comfortable today. Think about the horizon, all the way around and out to the sides, and lowering the knees, sitting into position to scoop and gather again. How low, how high? Well, those things can be adjusted. Same with the breathing. Go as far as you feel comfortable. That's the key point. And, if you're not able to lift the heels or go higher, don't force yourself to. But sort of think about it moving in the right direction. I'm moving the weight slightly forward to the toes, moving back into the heels, around the outside of the feet, and evenly distributing the weight through the feet. Especially when sitting, scooping together. I want to keep that balance in the feet, not letting the weight go forward into the front. But as I start to extend up further, well, I do move the weight into the front of the feet. But even then, the feet have to remain relaxed, so that little part of the foot that has contact with the ground allows the weight to go through the feet. So although I'm stretching and lifting to project that little bit higher, I'd have to say that the most important feeling is the feeling of letting go. Ta-da! But letting everything stay down low. And a great exercise, if you're not feeling so good, it can always help to lift the spirit a little bit extra. The sitting, the horse riding stance again, to focus on the pushing palm so that you sit into the middle, have a really strong movement. And then the rolling arms to open and extend, and to sit again, to focus, to push. Rolling the arms, expanding the chest to breathe in, relaxing the shoulders and chest to release the arms, activating the diaphragm to focus, and then breathe in again. Rolling the arms and sitting in the horse riding stance. Again, another good exercise for building up our stance and our posture as the central part of the movement. The breathing, turning, expanding and opening, and then relaxing and releasing. So these two key points, using the muscles to gently engage, to squeeze the bones, to stimulate the immune system, the production of the T cells and things like that. Exercise is very beneficial, and that's one of the reasons why it's been considered an essential activity to be able to go out and exercise. The second part of this is the big expansion of the lungs. Using the lung capacity to a bigger amount means that we can take less breaths to get the same amount of oxygen that we need. But we're using the lungs more efficiently to open all the areas to get the circulation into there and to get rid of the waste out as well. And the big breath also helps to release a flood of immune cells into the bloodstream. I think there's a lot of people making various claims about, energy boosting and immune system boosting and things like that. But if we just think about those basic points, they're two of the most important things. To exercise, to move, to get the blood working, to produce new blood cells. And that's done in the bone marrow. We also need to strengthen the bones and stimulate the bones, and this is all part of our strengthening exercise. So exercise helping to boost the immune system, and then to get everything to circulate. When we sit for too long, things start to accumulate and stagnate. So we really want to try and get that full amount of breathing so that we can use the lungs and we don't have any stale areas, if you like. And some of the exercises are very simple to do. Paddling with the hands as if rowing the boat across the lake. not so complicated. But it still has that focus, so that when you sit, you put your knees into alignment, you sit with your hips, you sit up straight through the posture, you activate the muscles right up along the spine, bring the chin in, lengthening the back of the neck, keeping the shoulders back. So that's there, just for a moment as you pass through that position. Then the visualization of guiding the energy is to lift along the spine, right up to the top of the head, up to the crown. As you extend out a little bit further forward, think of that down the front of the face to the tip of the tongue. And then as you relax and lower back into the center, from the tip of the tongue down the center of the body, right into the middle of the abdomen. So as well as having our exercise and movement, we're using the mind to think about what we're doing. You can just imagine paddling in the water, be a nice place to be, I miss that. Imagine rowing the boat across the calm lake at sunrise. The water's glassy smooth. The birds are just starting their daily activities. And they're nice things to do. But from our mindfulness, we focus the mind and then use our mind to follow parts of the exercise. So here we're thinking about the lowest part of the spine, the tailbone, lifting the arms, bringing the focus up the spine, up between the shoulder blades, up the neck, right up to the top of the head, from the top of the head to the tip of the tongue, and the tip of the tongue down into the center of the body. Taoist internal energy meditation exercise. So we're talking about the meridians and the energy lines in the body through the Tao Yin. But even doing these exercises, there can be a focus on those elements. The centers of the palms, the soles of the feet, the top of the head, all connecting to the center of the body. And with the body, the big balance, the yin-yang, the conception vessel down the front and the governing vessel up the back. Lifting the energy along the spine to project up. And then to relax and release down into the center, to guide the chi, to put it away where it's safe. It also correlates with our natural center of balance. So when we're doing our movement from the center, we should be moving from here. If we get out of alignment, it changes the position and there's kinks and twists and strain on different parts. And so even when we go to do simple things like standing on one leg to lift the other foot, then think of that as alignment. Knee over the foot, center of gravity over the foot, head over the top of the body, everything all into a central alignment. Now, I feel like going further, I don't want to lean or strain, but just keep it where it's comfortable. So the essence of the movement is to relax, to stand comfortably on one leg, and to lift the palm. And to lower, move the weight across to the other side, and lift the other palm. Like all the exercises, by degree that works best for you, sitting and lifting as far as you feel comfortable, without letting it get out of alignment. Always focus on calm heart, clear mind, no strain in the body. As if supporting a ball in front of the shoulder. So again, we could see from the Tao Yin exercise, this is like a focus on the heart meridian to the center of the palm and out through the fingers. And then to put the body back down into position, like the monk in meditation. But it has the strength of the martial arts, sweeping across and blocking, while the other hand lifts. As if supporting a ball in front of the shoulder. Now, another image of the ball I like to think of in the next exercise is The rubber ball hits the ground, absorbs the energy, releases the energy, and goes up into the air. It goes up to whatever height it can get to, and it runs out of energy, gravity takes over, and it comes back down again. So I think of this as the pulse, the energy in the movement. So from absorbing to turn the body and lift, to extend up and gently stretch as if gazing at the moon, I think of the flow and the feeling. Sitting back into the middle, absorbing the weight into both legs, sitting into the horse riding stance, using the legs to turn the body and lift, to extend and project up, and to release, lowering. How far? Again, adjust to where you feel most comfortable. If you do extend a little bit further, stretching up and moving all the weight onto one leg, again, make sure the body is in balance. Don't lean or strain to achieve it. Always comfortable, always relax, just to the level that feels best for you today. That's feeling good. Release. Turning the body and pushing with the palm. Well, we've looked at different aspects of this exercise, but the one I want to focus mostly on this morning is the breathing. To breathe in, expand the chest. Relax the chest and activate the diaphragm to focus, to sit in the middle, and then turn to breathe in again, and sit to relax and focus. I know sometimes the speed that I pick with the breath doesn't suit everybody, so I would encourage you to try and spend some time focusing on your own breath and getting the feeling of the movement. The more you can be like the observer, the better. Rather than controlling, focus on feeling. The same with the cloud hand. Turn to the side to breathe in. Sit down in the middle to relax to breathe out. Turn to the side to breathe in. Keep it simple. Relax. Breathe. Relax. And let's change again. I'm going to turn around to make it a little easier to follow those parts. Sitting with the hips. Move the center of gravity over the top of the foot. Not just the hip to the foot, but the middle of the body, so the tailbone is in line with the heel. Spiral to sit down, like the lotus spiraling downward. Release the left hip to lift the left knee. And step out like we were doing in the Dao Yin Qigong, holding the toes up. Relax to put the toes down, put the knee into alignment, and then sit down into both feet to sit up straight through the back. In this one, we're not going to move on to the balance. We just want to sit into that position of the bow stance to scoop and to gather. We push back, again by degree. How high? It all depends. How low? All depends. Out to the sides, lower the toes, put the knee into alignment. Sit with the hips. So again, a very small movement. I might just go this far, but I'm still thinking about all of the parts. If you go further, don't strain, don't start thinking more about how to stretch and activate too much, focus on the feeling as being a guiding point. Otherwise you could end up leaning too far forward, straining. And just sit up to keep that natural alignment. Then sit back. Sit down and push up. Think of the horizon, front and back, all the way around, out to the sides. Lower to sit with the hips, to scoop together. Push the weight back to get the balance. From the balanced position, step in again and change over to the other side. Relax. Sit with the hips to scoop and together. Push back. Sit and lift. Open to the sides. Shubashi, the 18 techniques. Qigong, Qi, the energy, Gong, to work with the energy, to invest into. Tai Chi, the balance of the yin-yang. From the ancient philosophy, the ancient energy leading exercises have evolved into the Tai Chi forms that we would be more familiar with, things like ward off, pull back, press forward, and push. Again, these are some of the traditional Tai Chi forms. Now, in this set we take just one exercise and repeat it to try and improve the movement. But if we can think about our stance, the bow stance, sitting into alignment, sitting down into the feet, sitting up through the back, and pushing into the palms. We can practice these energy balancing exercises and not just do them as an exercise, but do them like a traditional set of Tai Chi form. Mind, the body, and the breath in harmony. An awareness of the flow, the feeling, and the connection. Soft and gentle, without causing any injury or strain, but strong and powerful because everything is working together. An integration through the whole body, with good alignment, good balance, good flow movement. Let's change sides again. Slow and steady, strong and stable, smooth. 1 to get the balance, 2 to lift the knee, 3 to place the foot. Toes, knee, hips, shoulders, elbows, wrists. Lots of different parts along the way. But all fitting together to make a smooth and continuous flow, with the change of the breath to focus, to sit into the strength of the movement. Come back and change again. This time, the flying dove, we want to move forward until the knee is strong, just like the sitting in the push, but then center the body over the top of the foot. Lower the heel, bend the knee, sit back like the bird opening its wings. The flying dove, a calm heart. Balanced, relax down, lower the heel without transferring the weight. Control the weight transfer until you can sit down comfortably onto the back foot. How far can you go? Just check your balance, check the alignment. Try and keep them in position, sitting up, natural. Don't worry if you're not able to go as far. Sit where you can comfortably, open where you can comfortably. Relax to close. Let's come back again and step into the horse riding stance in the middle. Still a bit of warmth around. It's been getting a little bit cooler gradually, but hasn't quite got to that stage where I really want to start getting stuck into the lao han. But I do want to try and emphasize some of the preparation exercises again. So if you feel comfortable and you can go a little bit wider, use your horse to get a little bit more leg strengthening exercise. And, you know, try and spend a bit more time there. Use it in your warm-up exercises to sit. Use your hip rotations to turn your body, like you're swinging arms, or even turning to push with the body. You know, all of these things are basic skills that we will use when we're doing the Lao Han Qigong. And the punching exercise fits in a lot with that general idea. There's three important points that the Bodhidharma emphasized at the Shaolin Temple. The first one was to be present. To keep the mind focused on what you're doing. The second point was to understand the connective tissues. And one important point that I think of is connection. They all connect everything together into the center. So our mindful awareness is using that gentle stretching exercise to make those connections through the legs, up through the back, and into the arms. And the final point was the bone breathing. And this is the part that we've been trying to emphasize for strengthening. Strengthening the muscles, gently squeezing and releasing. Gently stretching the connective tissues, the tendons. The myofascial tissue where we hold our emotions and emotional stress. We'll let that go by bringing everything into good alignment and activating with the mind. Squeezing the muscles also helps to strengthen the bones and to stimulate the immune system. So this section this morning, I want to move across into the bow stance again, to turn to the side, to sit everything into position and focus on the idea again of pushing out and holding the arm back. It's not how far you can lean or lunge forward. It's all about sitting and getting the strength to focus, to push into the palm and hold back into position. The other arm, get ready, sit, activate, connect, and gently squeeze that little bit extra. Changing the stance to the other side, sitting into position. Remember, we're not doing the Lao Han, so we're not repeating the movements or even doing the sequence. We're preparing by making sure we've got good stance, good posture, and we're spending our time to think about each part. To hold the hand up, pull the shoulder back. See, the problem is when you know the exercise, you start to do it automatically, and sometimes you leave out the most important points. So taking the time to make sure the knee is in good alignment without going too far forward. The back knee still does have a bend. If you straighten too much, it'll tilt the pelvis. So keep your hips down to keep the pelvis in good alignment. And then get your hand ready. Sit and pull the shoulder back while you focus into the center of the palm. So the idea is that you get the mind, the body, and the breath to work in harmony again, but there's that little bit of extra focus at the end to energize and to release. So work with your stances a little bit more, prepare yourself And as the weather does keep cooling down, I'll get more into the Lauhan. I think you'll find that it won't be long and the weather will be that little bit cooler. So try and prepare yourself with the stances. We'll do 2 more new Dao Yin exercises on Wednesday morning. So that'll be something extra to look forward to. And just a reminder that there are videos, the DVDs, of the movements available from the Living Chi shop, and the music CDs are also there if you like to have that music to play in the background. Stay tuned for news of the extra sessions. They will be like a subscription section of teaching different aspects of the traditional Tai Chi movements, and they will be available. I'll let you know about that very soon. But for now, I hope you have a great day, good health and good balance, and look forward to seeing you again soon.